Hello again. This is volume 452 of the Sacred Chronicles of the Song of Jedidiah. You know, I just recorded the 451, but I meant to say something that I felt was very powerful. So this will only be 2-3 minutes long, but I want this as an addition to 451. Let me read this. Before this, Eliashib the priest had been put in charge of the storerooms of the house of our God. He was closely associated with Tobiah, and he had provided Tobiah, that is the enemy, with a large room formerly used to store the grain offerings and the incense and the temple articles, and also the tithes of grain, new wine, and oil prescribed for the Levites, singers, and gatekeepers, as well as the contributions for the priest. I just said, how could that be? How could the priest be connected with the darkness? This was an enemy, Tobiah. Tobiah and Sanballat were enemies. We find that actually Eliashib's grandson was married into the family of Sanballat. His grandson was a son-in-law to Sanballat, the enemy. See? The priest got connected by marriage into the darkness. The same very thing that happened to Solomon. You see it in different ones. Even that which happened to Ahab, as bad as Ahab was, Ahab humbled himself before God. He did, and God saw it. Almighty God saw that he humbled himself, such that he changed what he had said about Ahab. He said, wait, I see he's humbled himself. And so what Almighty God proclaimed would happen to Ahab actually came upon his son. But you notice this, Ahab had married Jezebel. She was a demon worshiper. She never humbled herself. And it said it was actually Jezebel that encouraged Ahab to do all this evil. It was Jezebel, the one that caused Naboth and all his sons to be murdered by her scheming and her lies. But here's what I wanted to say. When Nehemiah saw that Eliashib, in his absence, had given this room, this huge room for the tithes, to the enemy, that is this huge room in the temple of God, I love the way what it said. You know what it said? Did it say they had a meeting and he was deeply concerned, and did he say, I've been praying about it, and how do you feel? No. You know what it says? Here I learned about the evil thing Eliashib had done in providing Tobiah a room in the courts of the house of God. I was greatly displeased. That's what Nehemiah says. And what did he do? I threw all of Tobiah's household goods out of the room. Threw them out. I gave orders to purify the rooms. And then I put back into them the equipment of the house of God with the grain offerings and the incense. I also learned that the portions assigned to the Levites had not been given them, and that the Levites and the singers responsible for the service had gone back to their fields. So I rebuked the officials and asked them, why is the house of God neglected? Then I called them together and stationed them at their posts. All Judah brought back the tithes of grains, new wine, and oil into the storerooms. I put Shelemiah the priest, Zadok the scribe, and a Levite named Jedidiah in charge of the storerooms, and made Hanan, son of Zachar, son of Mattaniah, their assistant. Because these men were considered trustworthy, They were made responsible for distributing the supplies to their brothers. Remember me for this, O my God, Nehemiah says, and do not blot out what I have so faithfully done for the house of my God and its services. I like that. Nehemiah saw this evil. And when he did, he took immediate action. He threw out what the darkness had put in the temple of God. And then he made sure all the tithes, the things of the temple, were brought back into the storeroom, instructing the people to bring their tithes in so that the priests and the singers and the gatekeepers could do what the Lord had asked them to do. I like that. To love God is to hate evil. So just a slight addendum to the previous Chronicle 4:51. So I leave you for today, and I say, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and cause his face to shine upon you, and be gracious unto you, and turn his face toward you, and give you peace.